Now, I'm going to bring this now to, as you know, I love this book, the Bhagavad Gita. Damn, this book is, it really changed my life. And I love how it says the Bhagavad Gita as it is. It's like speaking about reality, the supreme reality. As life is, what is life? It's to understand what life is. Now there's a verse in the Gita, chapter 2, verse 22. I'm gonna read it out, excuse me. As a person sheds off worn out clothes and wears new ones, likewise, at the time of death, the soul casts off its worn out body and enters a new one. Right? So this is another cool theory, that this body that I'm wearing is no more than just garments, it's just clothes that I'm going to toss away. I'm just going to drop the body at the end of this life, and my soul will be eternal. My soul will carry on to the next life, And this is when we think about, when we hear about theories of samsara, the wheel of birth and rebirth. Birth, death, rebirth, death, rebirth, death, rebirth, death, rebirth, death. So what the Bhagavad Gita, or Krishna, is explaining in the Bhagavad Gita here is saying that we're constantly in this cycle of samsara, and we're going to keep coming back as a human until we realize our oneness with the universe, our oneness with our higher nature, right? So in many ways, this life is kind of like a test to see if we can realize that oneness, right? And we've had spiritual giants in the past, Christ, Buddha, modern day Eckhart Tolle, or Ram Dass, or there's been a bunch of philosophers and prophets who have spoken on this. Gurus, saints, sages, seers, sadhus, siddhis, all these people that have reached higher levels of consciousness to the point where they know themselves not to be the body. You know, Christ said at the time of death, this body's not me, watch, crucify me. I'll show you that I'll live forever. You know, that's really powerful, because he was so tapped into his transcendent dimension, to his metaphysical, to his non-physical, to his spiritual dimension of himself. He knew himself not as the body, not as the man, but as the spirit, right? And that spirit is divine, that spirit is love, that spirit is compassion. And when we tap into that, then life does become beautiful and blissful. I'm ranting a lot here, but I just get really G'd up. So as I said, the wheel of samsara, we're born again and again and again, and we're going to keep coming back here, right? And eventually you can escape that wheel of samsara once you have that communion with your higher self, with the divine nature. So the self, the spirit, the soul, which lies behind the body, the ego, and the mind, that's always watching those three at play. That is the pristine self. As we're on this earth, uncover the muck that we've accumulated. Uncover all this nonsense that you're not, and find the pristine self. And that is the process of spirituality, the process of yoga. And you can attain that through different practices and disciplines, such as meditation, brahmacharya, pranayama, which is the breathing techniques, the yoga asanas, the physical postures, japa, another type of meditation, spiritual books, reading, being in spiritual company, being with people that you can learn from, people who have already realized the self, already realized the truth. So, and through that process, we can alleviate suffering. And that's such a beautiful thing. Imagine a life with, you always have suffering and struggles, but it won't consume you, it won't break you, it won't bite you as much. That's the difference. So being at one with yourself, you know yourself, not as the human, as the person, me, Tim Davey, it's as the non-physical part. And that's the whole practice. Uncover all that through the practice of meditation. Uncover all that through the practice of physical postures in yoga. They call it asanas in Sanskrit. And eventually you can raise that energy and you can have this love permeating through your heart, all existence. And when you become to that point, death is no fear whatsoever. Death is not to be scared of at all, because this body is not even you. You know it not to be you. Obviously, take care of the body, treat it well, exercise, eat well, stretch, work out, keep it strong, keep it healthy, but don't become so attached to it that when it passes, you are distraught. It's not like that. It doesn't have to be like that. There's been many cases of people who have perfected themselves on a spiritual level to the point where when they are faced with death, it's no more dramatic than turning over a page in a book from one page to the next. It's seamless, it's smooth, it's calm, and they're satisfied, and they're spiritually, genuinely fulfilled and happy, profoundly happy. So, in summary, this life is for gaining experience, for knowledge, and ultimately gaining illumination, right? Illumination of the self. This life alone, by itself, without any spiritual understanding, cannot provide you with full happiness. But what can really provide you with long-lasting happiness is this self-realization, is this yoga, is this practice of meditation, is this communion with your higher self, is this communion with divinity. You can call out God if you want, if you like that word. I know some people don't really like that word, God, which is fair enough. But you can find that. You can scrub the muck off your being and find that. Spirituality is what can truly fulfill us. So yeah, in summary, don't hold on to the body so tightly. If we have this conception that the body is me, this body is me, it's I, it's mine, then we're in for some fear and some anxiety. But you are much bigger than your body. You are much greater than your mind. You are much more powerful. You can stretch this beyond your being. This being is very limited, and this mind is very limited. Break that, transcend that, go beyond the mind, go beyond the body, go beyond the ego, crush the ego if you can. It's a tough thing in this day and age. And this society doesn't even want you to realize your divine self. This society wants to keep you down in your lower 3 chakras. It wants to keep you low, and it wants to keep you in a state of fear, greed, hunger. Like, it doesn't want to make you shine and awaken and liberate yourself. In Sanskrit, they call this mukti, or moksha, or nirvana from the Buddhist tradition, or enlightenment. You've transcended your being. So the misconception that I am the body can be realized through spiritual disciplines and practice. So that's all. That's the message for today. Keep on your path, your spiritual path, and cultivate that, and clean out all that muck. Clean out who you are not, and realize that you're not the body, and realize that there's something beyond that, which is eternal and peaceful and ever blissful. Thank you.